Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sharing what I learned about Power BI, specifically how to create basic report and get familiar with the Power BI desktop interface. If you're just starting out or curious about data visualization, then this video is for you. Let's start. So first thing is we need to install the application Power BI desktop in our computer. It is recommended to install from the Microsoft Store. Updates will be coming in smoothly on your application. That's why they recommend to install from here rather than the web installer. As you can see here, when you search Power BI from the Microsoft Store, you will see two options, which is Power BI Desktop and Power BI Report Builder. What we need to install is the Power BI Desktop. Click on this application and then install it on your end. For me, it says open because I've already installed it. So once installed, open the application. So before we go ahead and explore the Power BI desktop application, let us discuss first what is Power BI. Power BI is a powerful tool from Microsoft that helps us turn raw data into interactive visual reports. Whether you're analyzing sales, customer feedbacks, or project metrics, Power BI makes it easy to explore and share insights. So now let's start exploring the GUI or GUI of the Power BI desktop. So once we launch the Power BI desktop, you will see a clean interface with several key areas. So you have open if you want to open existing reports, and then here you have sign in, sign out. Basically, if you have a Power BI service that you want to log in to the application, I'll give you more information about this online Power BI service later. Then we have option and settings here. I will not click on those options yet, but you have options, basically setting up the settings of the application, and then data source settings, which we're not going to be dwelling much for this video, but I will give you a little more information about that later in the video. Let's open a blank report. Okay, from here, let's explore the GUI of the Power BI desktop application. First, from the top, we have the ribbon, which I think we're quite familiar with because it's almost same with how Excel and other Microsoft application displays their ribbon. So we have here File, wherein you can open, save as, share, get data, import, export reports. Here in Home, you will see the data sources where you can connect into. You can click on this get data here, and then these are the common data sources that you can use: Excel, Dataverse, Text CSV, and so much more. And then next is queries. So basically here you can transform data from your source tables. Then here you can insert visuals, text box, and others. Here you can create calculations. This publish is used on the Power BI service, which is online, and Copilot. All right, that's it for the ribbon. And then let's go on the left side. We have here the views. So we have report view, table view, model view, DAX query view, TMDL view. These two views we're not going to dwell much. So report view is basically the view wherein it will update this canvas here and will display the report that you're working on. If you click on the table view, basically this will show you the table, columns, and the data that you're going to be working on this report. And next is you have model view, which will show you the relationships between tables and fields in your report. And then here in the middle, this white area here is where we were going to build our report. This is called Canvas. Then on the right side of it, you have the panes. You have filter pane, visualizations, and data. There are other panes that can be displayed in here by clicking on view and then show panes. For example, you wanted to display bookmarks, selections, performance analyzers, sync slicers, and all that. You can do so, but as you can see, it takes up so much space on our screens and we don't want that. So you can turn them off. Let's leave filters for now. At the bottom side, you have here the report pages, and then the layout view. You can change the layout view from desktop and mobile. This will be helpful if you're going to test your report on how it will look like on a desktop layout and mobile layout. Okay, so now let's start making our first report. We don't have any prepared data for this video. I wanted to show you how to enter data from the Power BI itself by using this enter data here. So it says create a new table by typing or pasting in a new content. So let's click on enter data. Let's say that we're making a table for a donut shop, donut sales. We have a column for flavors and then location or branch location, and then unit sold, price per unit, and we have total sales. There's chocolate, donut, Manila, 120. We have 50 per unit, and then total sales of 6,000. Okay, let's keep our table simple. Let's load the table. So from the views, let's navigate to the table view. Here you will see the table that we have created earlier. From here on the table view, you can click on the columns and update the formatting if needed. For example, for the unit sold, you wanted to make this a currency and the decimal. You can update it to have decimal or not. Let's add 2 decimal. As you can see, the decimal is updated. Price per unit, let's do the same. Then 2. Total sales, we have currency, and 2. So from here on the table view, you can also create new measures. Basically, you're going to add DAX expressions to create new calculations for your table. For example, click on new measure, name your measure. For example, grand total sales. If you're familiar with Excel expressions, then you will find DAX expressions to be quite similar with those formulas. Let's say sum, then the column that we wanted to have the total sales, close parentheses, enter. So here on the right side, on the data pane, you will see grand total sales created. This measure can now be used on creating the report without even adding new columns to have that value. So to check the model view, here you will see the donut sales table that we have created. It's only one because we only created one table. If you have multiple tables, you can see multiple tables here and then arrows if there are any relationships that are defined on your tables. Going back to the report view, let's try creating our report. You can zoom in and zoom out the report by holding Control and then scrolling in and out. First, let's go to visualizations pane. As you can see here, you have add data to your visual. Basically, you can click on any of these existing visualizations for you to use on your report. You have here stack bar chart, column charts, line charts, maps, and then here beside the add data to your visual, you have format your report page. If you click that, you will see page information. You can name your page here or you can update it from here. Let's name this Donut Sales Tracker. And then here you have canvas settings. You can choose on other sizes if you wanted to. The alignment you can change from top to middle. Canvas background, you can change the background of your canvas depending on your liking. Like for example, we wanted to change it to black 20% lighter. As you can see, I changed the color, but it didn't reflect on our canvas. This is because of this transparency. It's set to 100% by default. Lower this down so the background will change. So for now, let's keep it white. Alright, so let's start by adding a title on our report. So here, click on your canvas and then click on text box. Then you can drag this like that. Donut Sales Tracker. Then here you can update the font of the text that you have added. Say we want 60, then bold and centered. Alright, let's add a card. We wanted to display the total sales of our donuts. So here we have card, click on card. This will automatically add a card on the canvas. Let's make it smaller. Make sure that you have clicked on the component and not the canvas. So if you click on the canvas, the values here will be different. This field here is changing. Click on the canvas, you have values, and then click on the card, and you have fields. So here, we wanted to see the grand total sales. So we have created this measure earlier. Let's drag it here. And then just like that, we have the 17K grand total sales displayed. Next, we're going to add another card. You can easily add from here or just copy this existing card that you have by clicking on Control C and then Control V. Drag this here. And now you have another card which you can just update the values for the new card in your report. Okay, to update this, you can update this field here. Let's click X here to remove it. Let's say we're counting the flavors that has been sold. We go on the table here, on the data, drag the flavor column on the fields. So we have here, by default, it's first flavor. You can always change this by clicking on this caret here. And you can see more options like first, last, count distinct, and count. So we wanted to count the number of flavors that are sold. So on our table, we can have multiple entries of same flavors, but we wanted to see the distinct count. So let's choose distinct here. So we have 4 flavors sold. Let's move this here, and I will move this one here. This vertical line here is the center identifier. So if you want to keep the report visuals to be centered, use that as a reference. And then here, let's create a new one, another card. Copy this and then paste it. So here, we're going to remove the grand total sales and let's use the total sales. This shows the sum of the total sales, which is expected to have the same value as the grand total sales. And why is it different? So basically, we just need to format the grand total sales to be same as how the total sales is formatted. Here, it has rounded up the value to 17K, the 16.95. Let us click on currency, and then here, the decimal can be auto or it's inheriting the two decimals from the total sales and also set the decimals here. So now the values are equal. Let's remove the duplicate card and fix the alignment of these two. For example, we wanted to change this visual here to display the number of sales. Since we don't have a record identifier on our table, we're going to use the flavors column. Oh, and also, my bad here, the units sold should not be currency, it should be whole number. So I'll change this. And then now, here instead of count of flavor, let's count the units sold. Let's remove this. And then pull this unit sold here. Now we have the sum of units sold. Then next is, let's create a bar chart. Click on this bar chart and we have here the values for the visualization. We have x-axis and y-axis. For the x-axis, we're going to put flavors. Then it's not showing anything yet because we need to add the y-axis of the chart. We're going to count the units sold per flavor. So now the chart shows data. And now let's fix the placement of the chart. Okay, let's add a new one, which will display a map. So here on the map visual, we're going to populate the location using the location that we have here. As you can see, the map has been updated to point the locations on the map. And then for the size here, we can put units sold. We're counting the amount of units that was sold per location. And here you will see bubbles that will be the indicators of the sales. The bigger the bubble, the bigger the sale on that area. I think the areas that we just need to update here are the labels. For example, I don't want the sum of units sold here. I want the label to be different. To update it, click on the card. Then here on the fields where you see sum of units sold, double click on this one. Then you can update the label. Donuts sold, number of donuts. And then here, if you want to keep the grand total sales or update it, you can update it here as well. You can also change the formatting of this card here by clicking on the card and then go to visualizations pane, click on format your visual. You have here callout value, which you can update fonts, colors. For example, the fonts, I'm going to increase it to 60. So the font of the value has increased. You can change the color as well. Then here you have category label. This is the font of this label. So you can also change that. For example, I'm going to increase it to 15. So it changed the font. Then you can update the others just like that. Click on this other card. Update same thing here. Update is 60. And then for the font here, we're going to update to 15. And then here. So we have updated that. So on this bar chart here that we have, you can also update the components of this specific chart. For example, the labels of the chart. For flavor, for example, you wanted to update it to donut flavors or sold flavors. So the flavor has been updated to sold flavors. You can do that with the y-axis as well. Then let's go to the format your visual area. So here you have visual and then general. Let's stay with visual first. X-axis, let's see. Let's turn off the values here. As you can see, it hides the values for the x-axis, basically the sold flavors. And we don't want to remove those because it's very crucial on the information that we're showing on the bar chart. But we can do that if you want to. You can change colors if needed. And then for the title, this will also update the label of the y-axis that we have updated earlier. For example, flavors. So we have updated this to donut flavors earlier. Now we have updated it to flavors. So you can update from here as well. You can also hide this if needed. You can also change the fonts of the labels. Then going to the y-axis, it's same. So you have here values as well. And then for title, let's remove it for this bar chart here. Another feature that I like on the visuals is the focus mode. So here you can expand the visuals that you have on your report. Also, as you can see here, you will see some light grid lines here on the chart. Those can be removed by clicking on the grid lines and then turning them off. So you have a more cleaner bar chart if that suits your style as well. But for me, I think it's cleaner without those horizontal lines. But I think it will be useful as well for other types of reports. But for this simple report, I don't think we need that. So you have zoom slider if you want that. Let's turn it off. Our data is very few to zoom in, zoom out. The next to visual is general. So for general, you have here the height and size of the chart. And then here we have title. This part here is the title. Let's change this to say how many donuts are sold per flavor. And then let's make this bigger, say 20. And then let's put it to center. Here if you have subtitle, then you can always do that. This is useful to add some brief description on the chart if needed. For now, turn that off. We don't need that. You have the divider. Let's do this so you can see the divider. So you have that divider there, that horizontal rule under the title, but we don't want that, so we're going to remove that for this one. Divider off. I think I'm good with this one. Alright, let's go to the next one. On our map, let's update the title. Again, let's go to visualization, then general, then title. Let's put the most donuts sold. Okay, so just to make it same as this one, let's make it 20, and then to make the color the above 20%, center it. Yep, I think we're done with the charts. And also, I forgot to mention, make sure to save your report because the Power BI desktop doesn't have that autosave functionality. So make it a habit to save your report from time to time to make sure that you have the latest changes saved on your report. Save it. Okay, so that's it for our report. In addition, let's check on the mobile layout view on how it will look like. As you can see here, you can auto create the mobile layout. You have page visuals, basically all the visuals that you have created on the desktop layout view. So you can easily drag them out on the mobile app, or you can easily create using the auto create mobile layout. However, the design will not automatically look nice when you click on the auto create mobile layout. Let's see how it will look like. Alright, so pretty neat. So as you can see here, you can easily update it based on your liking. So the editing of the mobile layout view is same as the desktop one. Here, let's make the title smaller. And then the title is gone. Let's update this to 10 or 12, 16, 20. There. So that's how it will look like on a mobile. Then save it. Let's go back to the desktop view. All good. So I'll just give you a brief background on, for example, you wanted to share the report. One is if you don't have that Power BI service online, you can share this report by sharing the Power BI itself. Like, for example, emailing the Power BI report to other users. Then you can do that. Here's how you can get the file. Share. From here, you're going to save this on your local and then share the file through email, for example. So this is how it will look like on the end users view once they access the report. Just be aware of that if you share the report, you're also sharing all those information. And another option is to upload it somewhere and then have another person access that file from the location. That's how you're going to share the report. However, just a note there that if you're going to access the report, this report file, they will need to have the same Power BI desktop application on their end first for them to see the report. That said, there comes the beauty of having a Power BI service and sharing reports. Because from here, you will be able to share your report without having them install the Power BI desktop application. Like, for example, for this one, I'm going to share this publicly, which is not ideal for most reports. But for this demo, we're just going to deploy it publicly. So let's click on the publish and then save it. Choose the workspace that you wanted to deploy the report online. So I'll just select my workspace and then it will publish to my Power BI. Okay, success. So now let's check our Power BI service. So this is my Power BI account online, which you might not have at the moment. You can always have one or create one, a temporary one, by subscribing to trials. But I'm just showing this just to give you an idea that this is possible as well. Go to my workspaces and then my workspace. So from here, I can now see the report that we have created earlier. You can also see that the semantic model, basically the table with the relationships and fields that we have created here, the semantic model is also uploaded. Okay, so that's how you're going to publish this demo online. For this demo, I'll just show you how you'll be able to share it publicly. So go to settings and then admin portal. Then we'll search for publish to web. This option here, expand it. Make sure that this is enabled and then allow users to create new embed codes, apply to entire organization just for the sake of this demo. Okay, so we're going to enable this so our report will be available online and available for publishing to the web. Let's go back to our report, hit file, embed report, and then publish to web. Embed in a public website, continue, and publish. Then this link is what you can share now to other users or embed this HTML iframe to another website. You can update the size here and then update all this basic information. So now let's copy this one and then let's close this. Let's try to navigate on the link that we generated. And then now we have the donut sales tracker that we have created in public. So if you have Power BI service, sharing of the report is much easier. So that would be the end of this video. I hope I'm able to impart some knowledge to you guys to kick off your journey on your path to learning Power BI development. Thank you. See you on the next one.